she is back. That thorn in the side of President Trump, Omarosa.
Former best friend.
Yes, former best friend, former aide.
Confidant.
All
order.
that. Yeah, that's all over and done with. We got Omarosa out in D.C. and asked her about CNN and Jim Acosta, their White House correspondent.
His credentials were yanked,
yes.
and he's now suing along with CNN to get those credentials back, saying that's a violation of the First Amendment to do what they did. So
watch what how Omarosa reacts. There's a physical look on her face first, and then what she said about President Trump is very interesting. I think CNN should be paying attention.
What do you think about this lawsuit with Jim Acosta and CNN? Is that a merit or?
You know what, they've been wanting to get rid of Jim for such a long time, since I was in the White House. In private meetings, they would talk about trying to figure out how to revoke his pass, and it needs to be reinstated. It's completely counter to the code of conduct for the White House and for the press.
You mean he shouldn't be kicked out of the White House?
He should be reinstated.
CNN needs to have her testify in court.
Yeah, based on what she said,
yeah,
but
that's be careful what you wish for, because what happened on cross-examination.
I would be entertained though either way, so I would actually.
Yes, for you personally, Sean, it would be entertaining. I don't know how much it helps.
Yeah, they're not going to call her. What's happening is that right now CNN is trying to get an emergency order reinstating him. We had Alan Dershowitz on, Harvard law professor, who said that CNN is fighting an uphill battle here to get him back in. And what the White House is saying is, look, there are 50 people from CNN in this building, so it's not like CNN can't cover it. So that's their position, and we will see.
What Omarosa said may not ultimately help CNN or Jim Acosta.
By the way, it's believable, by the way.
If
100%.
it's true, it's just a big problem.
A gigantic problem, don't you think so, Harvey?
The president is talking about, I don't like, this person wrote a bad story.
Yeah, I guess here's the thing. Here's my issue with it. Of course he's doing that. You know, it's like, to me.
Yeah, but
but it gives credence to also the congressman that we got out, who said that he felt that Acosta had been set up by the White House.
Yeah, but the felt part is the interesting part, because that doesn't get you the restraining order that you want. And Omarosa, the problem with Omarosa is she comes with baggage in terms of
credibility.
So,
I understand what you're saying
outside
in
of
court.
Omarosa, real quick.
Of course he talked about it.
Of course he's doing it. Of course, if you know that he's doing it, if you know that the president is sort of manicuring free speech and the freedom of the press in that way.
And he's acting on it.
And he's acting on it.
Problem,
right?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's one thing for him to have the conversation. He can say whatever he wants in the White House. He can say anything he wants anywhere. But once he starts acting on it, if that's what happened with Jim Acosta, that's a problem.
Yeah, and the interesting thing to me is, look, I'm just thinking of this in terms of First Amendment, and, you know, if they could prove that this was all a setup and that it had nothing to do with the microphone and everything else, it's hard to do. To me, you know, Trump may well get away with this just based on the law, but if he does and he starts feeling empowered and does this, honestly, I think it hurts him more than it hurts anybody else, because the press can still cover the White House, but I think if he looks like he is paranoid like Richard Nixon was, I think ultimately it's going to damage him more than it's going to damage the press.
I think it's a Pyrrhic victory, and ultimately it'll be a PR victory for CNN, because it just goes to show again that they're being, you know, muzzled, and then Trump is treating them like an enemy.
I think
well, they're not being muzzled.
I think the more fundamental
but they could play that card.
But they're
not
kind of
being
muzzled. CNN isn't being muzzled, but in a way, the guy, like it's still. I don't understand how you don't feel like this is a bigger problem.
Well, no. I didn't say it isn't, but I guess what I'm saying is, when you look at the administrations and you say, okay, when there are about 70 seats in that press room, it's a small press room, actually.
I get it.
And then the question is, who gets in? And there are a lot more people who want in than get in. And then the question is...
But this is about somebody being expelled for trying to demand transparency from the president.
I'm trying to make a point, which is that if a president... it knows going in that there was a campaign and there are certain outlets that don't like him, there's no doubt that the president can say, I'm not going to give a press pass to so-and-so. It's exactly the same motivation with exactly the same result, and they get away with that all the time.
I get it.
I'm not saying it's right.
I guess because he was already there.
Right.
This is not a case of someone asking.
Already, right.
He's been there for what, 5, 6 years?
This is a guy who was already there, who they've decided.
Right, it's wrong. It's wrong.
Right, so, I mean...
But
the question is how wrong? How wrong when the president is no, I'm serious.
Yeah.
When the president doesn't want accountability the press is supposed to be the American citizens' conduit to holding them accountable.
My name is Marty, and I am from North Carolina. Omarosa, I don't know if she's auditioning for, a Scandal reboot that we don't know about, but her bringing back these bones and carrying them from, here and there is kind of puzzling, because what if she hadn't got rebooted, booted out of the White House? She possibly would have kept these a secret, and that probably would have done even more damage. So I don't trust her. I think she's just using her own motives to kind of stir up some stuff. So.
Well, that's
the problem with having her as a witness.
What you just said is exactly the problem with Omarosa.
Yes.
Is the history.